Jury deliberations do resume tomorrow morning in Kenosha for the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. There were 8 hours of deliberations today. Rittenhouse is charged with 5 felonies in connection to the shootings. Jurors can consider convicting him on possible lesser charges. In closing arguments on Monday, the prosecution told the jury Rittenhouse provoked the entire incident. The defense claims Rittenhouse feared for his life and says all of his actions were in self-defense. The jury will return to deliberate tomorrow at 9 a.m. And joining us again is UW Law Assistant Professor Ian Main. Thank you so much for being with us, Professor Main. We appreciate it. We're going to jump right in. So much to get to. One of the things that happened today, an unconventional move, Kyle Rittenhouse was actually asked to pick the jurors at random, reached into a brown sack or a brown bag to pick those jurors. And that is something that we don't often see. In fact, some people are commenting that it wasn't appropriate. Do you feel that was an appropriate move by the judge who decided he could do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm of the mind that that is not an appropriate way to do it. I don't think, for example, if you imagine a civil case and you had 2 parties and one party chooses the jury, that would just feel unfair to the other party. And then I also think there's something strange about a defendant choosing the jury. I mean, this is a group of people who are going to decide his life and the rest of his life. And I think that's strangely putting pressure on him. And I don't want to use the word cruel, but I just don't think it's appropriate to do to a defendant, regardless of, at the moment, the prosecutor might have wanted to object. I don't know, because I wasn't able to see that moment at that time, whether the jury was there. But if the jury was there, there's no way the prosecutor can object because he's in front of the jury. So I thought it was a strange ceremony, and I don't think it makes a difference in the end, in the sense that it is randomly selected, whether or not the clerk of court, who's the person who usually does it, or the judge, versus the defendant. But I just think in terms of appearances, I think it's better that it's the clerk of court or the judge.
Give us an idea of what goes on in the room where it happens. What could go on in that jury room in terms of dynamics? If somebody's on the fence, could a juror or would a juror likely say, hey, come over to my side and this is why?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of precedent for so many extraordinary swings, that we find out afterwards, polling a jury, that, there was 3 people, say, who wanted to find someone not guilty, and then at the very end they all acquit, and 3 people convinced 9. And so those dynamics are all possible. And there's so many cases that you read about what could happen behind the scenes in the jury that sometimes you don't want to know. And in fact, the law kind of protects how juries make decisions. We're not really allowed to dwell into the mind of the jury and then bring that out later as, say, part of a claim. Say, wait, this was inappropriate for a jury to do. There's very few things that we find that a jury does, like, say, bring information from outside into. That's the third rail. But other than that, juries are fairly free to deliberate how they want to. Of course, we've all been in a room where there's gender dynamics, there's race dynamics, there's class dynamics. All those things can happen in a jury. There's 12 different personalities in there. We don't know how it's going to play out in that room, because these 12 people who have gotten to know each other over the last 2 weeks are discovering their own dynamics. They have a huge amount of pressure. There's obviously a seriousness about what they're doing, especially when the eyes of the nation are on them. But at the same time, they're human. And so in many respects, we can imagine being there and how hard it would be to be there.
Very difficult decision, very emotional. Rittenhouse faces 5 felony counts. That 6th count was dismissed by the judge, of course, the misdemeanor gun possession charge. Jurors may consider some lesser charges. Do you think they could be hung up on one particular charge, or do you think it's many here?
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's interesting. As you say, there can be a lot of division as to, certainly as it tends to, that as you get more severe in the charging ladder, the higher level kind of crimes, the more you expect there to be division. And with those lesser possibilities, those lesser charges, it allows that release valve that could permit compromise, where people meet in the middle. Someone who really is coming down like, I want this person guilty in the severest charge, and someone who's saying, I want to acquit. And maybe that meeting ground, right, is that that lesser charge, or that second lesser charge. I mean, some of them have 3 or 4 lesser charges that are connected to them. So there's a number of options, and it permits that compromise between what seems like a divide that you can't find a middle ground. But that can happen when you have that many options, as this jury does.
Ian Mahan, thank you again for your insight tonight. We really do appreciate it. You're almost becoming a member of our staff, but we're going to continue to talk to you as the days go on here. Thank you so much
Thanks
for being
a lot.
with us. You got it. Our coverage of the Rittenhouse trial does continue online on fox6now.com and the FOX6 News app, also on the FOX6 News YouTube channel.